All right, you're good.
Okay. All right, today I'm gonna.
Starting over.
So today I'm going to make empanadas, and I like to do a semi-healthy version of using ground turkey breast and ground turkey. So it's a mix, so it's not too dry, just using turkey breast. And I don't use as much oil as I'm cooking the vegetables. I might use a little beer instead of using oil. The alcohol cooks off, and it's just a way to keep everything moist. So I'm gonna start by chopping all the vegetables. Onions, garlic, 3 kind of peppers, cilantro, and I think that's it. And that's all gonna be cooked in with the meat, and then we'll go from there. So this is gonna be the empanadas. Okay, so it's time to cook the ground turkey for the empanadas. And I'm gonna start with the vegetables. Aside from the cilantro, that's already in the bowl because you want that fresh. You don't wanna cook that. So I'm gonna take some olive oil, get it in my pan. And see, I have a beer there. As I go, I don't want it to dry out, so I'll use the beer to help out and not use so much oil. So I'm gonna start with the peppers and the onions and garlic. Get that all in there. And I'm a big believer in season as you go, so I'm gonna salt this up. Also gonna add some pepper. In a few minutes, it's gonna smell really good in here. So I have red peppers, green peppers, yellow peppers, onions, and garlic. Salt and pepper. That's the basics of getting this started. And then we'll get this so it's, they're tender, and then we'll throw in all the ground turkey. This is a big batch because we love empanadas in my house, so we'll eat them for a few days after. Sweet sound. Yeah. Onions, garlic, peppers, all happy together. Love it. Yes. So creepy. That angle is so creepy. When you're cooking these vegetables, you want it on like medium high. We have a rose in the background, so that's what goes on in this house. Got my granddaughter here. It's been pretty awesome, especially during this quarantine, to have the whole family here. Really, really lucky and blessed to have them all living with me, and it's been fun. Watching all the milestones, watching her walk, watching her talk. Pretty awesome. What do you think, Rose? It's going good. Get the creepy.
right now. Like,
I think she only came to me because I'm cooking, like all the cooking going on. You want some grapes? Another thing is when you're making these, they're also gonna bake in the oven. Some people fry them. These are semi-healthy, so I'm not gonna fry them. They are gonna have cheese in them, so, you know. For me, this would be kind of a cheat thing, which that's what's gonna happen. After we're done, I'm gonna eat several of these. But you know, had a tough workout today, so I think I deserved it. So at like this point, when they're starting to get tender, this is when I'll like kind of add a little beer. And in the end, we're going to drain the meat in a strainer. So it's, you know, because you don't want the meat mixture to be too wet, because when you put it in the empanadas, it'll all leak out on the sheet pans. It'd be a disaster. So you gotta strain it, which we will. Have my assistant in the background gonna do some dishes so we can keep this dinner moving. I also don't like to put like jalapenos or like any of that stuff in here, because we kind of like using hot sauce as you eat them. So you're still gonna have really great flavor because of all these peppers, the onions and garlic, and then cilantro. But I don't like to do them hot, because then you're kind of stuck with the heat. You can just, you know, cut them in half and put a little hot sauce on there. Delicious. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm gonna start adding the meat. Got the family all here because it's getting closer to dinner time, so gotta ramp this up. So we're gonna add the meat. So like I said, it's a combination of ground turkey breast and just ground turkey meat, which incorporates some dark meat to keep it moist and delicious. So I'm just gonna kind of mash this up a little bit, and then I'm gonna salt and pepper turkey. So I usually will use like one whole beer during this process. Okay, so we're getting near the end of the meat being done, and I don't want to overcook it because it's gonna bake in the oven. So you can see there's still some are a little pink. That is fine. That's where I want to end, because you don't want it to dry out when it bakes. They're gonna bake for like another 20 minutes. So that's it. Gonna take it off the heat, and then we're gonna strain it, and then we're gonna put it in the bowl. You know, make sure it's cool, and then we're gonna start stuffing the empanadas. Okay, I got all the turkey in the bowl. I just stirred it up with the cilantro, fresh chopped cilantro. That's always last. It's still a little warm, but that's good because I'm gonna incorporate the cheese. It's gonna make it more of a solid mixture, and then we'll start stuffing the empanadas. So, pretty good to go here. Just kind of mashing down any of the bigger chunks of turkey. And then let's start incorporating the cheese. So I have Mexican style cheese, which is, what do they have in this? It's Monterey Jack, Colby, whatever, it's good. One whole pack of that. And then some sharp cheddar. Is this what, I did ask for this, right? Okay, so we're gonna mix that all together. And then hopefully we're gonna be ready to stuff the empanadas. Rose! Rose, you want some of this? And I know people are gonna be laughing at my giant bowl. Honestly, pretty sure it just came with the set and I didn't realize when I bought it how big the bowl was, the biggest bowl was, and this is probably the only time I use this bowl. Maybe when I'm doing meatballs or turkey burgers, but it's, I mean, you can tell it's really large, right? This bowl is huge. But how does that look? You don't like it?
No, I do.
You don't like, you don't want any. You don't want any. My daughter Chance does not want any empanadas tonight. Wow. It's deep. Cuts deep. It's hurtful. Yeah, Chance is not eating tonight. She doesn't want an empanada. Okay, so what do you guys think? More cheese or has 2 packs?
It looks good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna start stuffing the empanadas. And what you wanna do is make sure you're all set up to where you're comfortable, because this is a process. So I like to have the empanada discs separated. The turkey here, the mixture here, and then another plate here, so where I can close it and you know, I don't know what they call it, crimp it? Is that what they call it? Anyone?
Crimping.
Crimp,
That sounds right.
Yeah.
crimp the egg? Oh, that's for hair?
Crimping?
Right?
Wasn't that the thing you did with your
Good.
hair? Crimping?
Yeah.
I guess it's
Okay,
the
well,
same thing.
you want to close the empanada with the fork.
Sounded right to me.
You want to get a good spoonful. I got everything in it. And then kind of just close it up. Turn it over and then get it with the fork. Close it up with the fork. There's one done. We got one done. Now the thing is, because I'm doing a big batch, we'll get one tray done, put it in the oven. So, you know, 15, 20 minutes they'll be done in the oven and everyone will be eating. And then we can put the second tray in the oven and just check on it. Empanadas is something I learned on my own. My mom, because it is, you know, the discs are kind of like, it's kind of like baking a pastry, but a savory pastry. My mom never did this at home, so some of the things, you know, learned on my own as a young man on the streets of Dorchester. Yeah, that's where my cooking started. And then it continued. The journey I made to Miami, Florida. Cooking continued. I learned how to make empanadas, ropa vieja. What's the other thing with the potatoes?
Picadillo de papa.
The picadillo de papas. Learned that. I haven't made that in a long time. So on these sheet pans, I'm gonna probably have 10 on each pan. So this is probably gonna come out to be about a lot. I mean, like 25 or 30, but I think 25. That's just what we do in my house, because at dinner, easily we're gonna go through 10 plus of them, and then We're gonna want them the next day. Okay, first batch is ready to go into the oven. The Woodworks empanadas. The empanadas are ready. Headed to the oven. Batch number 1. Looking fantastic. Can't wait.